see all the room for activities under here. Got a whole hand's width above the rear end, and you know, more than that under the sides. The front. The front, you can see. Maybe you can, maybe you can't, but tons of room. In front. He'll have plenty of room if he bags this thing. Oh. Or if he keeps it static. Really low tail dragger. Plenty of room. So you saw me finishing up the trunk, rear end extension, trunk hump, I don't know what to call it. Room for the rear end, so when and if he bags it, there's more room. And right now, he's gonna add 3-inch blocks and wants room for the exhaust and all that happy stuff. So that's done. As you can see, it's all bolted in through the flange. There is riv nuts in the floor, so everything bolts down nice. It's tight. He'll just need to add some kind of cut his own rubber gasket for this at some time, and just that's how I would do it. But right now, I marked off where the rear sits in relation to the sub rails on the floor, so when I pull it back off, I can drill some holes, and you know, then when I put it back on, I can spot weld it to the floor like it is factory, and this rear end will be locked down for good. It's the last time. So right now, I'm kind of just looking at it and making sure I have everything done so I don't weld it to the floor prematurely, and you know, I run into stuff that I need to do, and it's really awkward to do it while it's all together. But I think I'm good. I know one thing I need to do before I put it back on is take this piece off. This is for the rumble seat latch, and as you can see, it was gas welded on there. Not saying there's anything wrong with gas welding, but the way this guy did it, it's not that great. And I think we're all set. I can pull this off, drill the holes, take this thingy off, put it back down and weld it. All right, so the time has come. As you saw, I was spot welding the rear half of the body to the floor. I have both inner wheel wells spot welded to the flange on the floor. Everything is good. Obviously needs to be seam sealed, but that is the finishing painter kind of guy's job. So I gotta either bolt or spot weld these guys to the floor. And the braces that I made for here, good thing I didn't put those in yet. Not the ones I made, they were already made, I just kind of modified them. So let's see, this is a passenger one. Da, da, da. So this went, these two holes in there, underneath, down to the floor, but now, since this piece has to be removable, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cut it a lot shorter, and I'm going to do kind of an angle from the top here and spot weld it to the top of the wheel wells on both sides. So that'll work out good, give it a nice area so you don't, you know, not something else in the way. It's kind of tucked over. And then gotta bolt this in. Since this is a 40 floor, it didn't have the holes and provisions for this cast iron plate because they stopped making Roadsters in 36. This is the last year that they made true Roadsters. So they didn't have provisions for this, but really all you got to do is drill a hole down through each one. It should match up with the holes in the frame, and we should be right as rain. So after that, that was the main thing I wanted to get done. So now the body's one piece locked down to the floor. The cowl is not welded to the floor. I'm not even sure I'm going to weld it to the floor. I'll probably just leave. It doesn't really need to be welded to the floor. The back half does, which I did already. So after that, you're going to put the top on, chop it, chop the stanchions, you know, get some dents out of fenders, do the running boards, hourglass and running boards, and finish up the front end. I just wanted to get this rear locked down before I kind of totally finished anything. I know I did a lot in the front, but if it needs any tweaks to be symmetrical, I can deal with that now. But I don't know, I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah. I think it looks pretty all right. So the doors all match up nice. Flows good. And another way to tell, like when you go down like this, the cowl, this rear section, and then again on the bottom here, when I move it down, everything should kind of hit at the same spot and in the middle, and it does. And boop, right at the top. So we're good here. Everything is straight and the way it needs to be. So yeah. Oh, one more thing I need to do is tie in the bottom of the quarter. So where it has the flange down at the bottom that meets up to the sub rail, I got to take these off, get under there, and see if there's places to tack. If not, I might have to make a tiny, I don't know, 12, 15 inch long strip of either an L bracket or like a U or something funky to go up there, spot weld to the bottom here, and spot weld to the sub rails somehow. But that's not a big deal. It's kind of one of the last minute things to tie everything together because the back is all nice. Now, another thing I just thought of. I need to put a few tacks under from this outer skin to the inner that's under here still, and kind of deal with a couple pieces, because this is the outer and this is the inner here, and it's kind of oddly shaped. So I'm gonna, you know, make it look nice from the rear, because this one kind of pokes down for some reason and this one doesn't as much. It's just a little weird, so I had to deal with that. But you know, it's just smaller things. The main big things that this car needed is like done. So it's on its way out. Just hopefully a few more weeks I'll get everything buttoned up and out of here. But you know, might hit a snag or two, but hoping I'll be done pretty soon. All right, so I haven't recorded in a bit. I've just been kind of focused on getting this car to the finish line, pushing it to the finish line. So here's what's going on right now. I might have filmed some of it, I might not have, I don't remember. That's in. I did the tiny little supports here. I did them to the wheel wells because of the floor. This just wasn't going to work with this being removable. Fenders on, rear welded to the floor, and I took some time and I'm starting on the front end again. I should have just finished it a while ago when I started, but you know, I'm an idiot. So they're both extensions of the fender are welded on. I have this piece welded here. That is because I changed the radius as it comes to here, because normally it would really kind of continue almost straight and almost end here. So I needed to bring it in so it would kind of match a fender that would go longer, because if it went forward it would just look really weird. So I needed to bring that down, and I did the same thing on the other side previously, but I had to make a bigger patch on the other one because there was some damage here. Let's see if I can show that. Yeah, so there's some repair here, but same concept was done. I just have to do another small repair here because apparently there was a crack, but they just kind of welded the crack up and it's still thin and stuff. So there's a couple puck marks here. So I'm gonna make a new lip edge like I did here, and you can see it's rounded like it comes from factory. Those two should match up nicely. So I'll do the same thing and make a repair here. Then I'm going to take the fenders off one by one and put them on my little fender jig that I make. It's just a kind of a long rectangle with some supports in it, and then I have some 1x2s or whatever that come up and screw to random points. I can adjust it to any fender. It's really simple, and it just holds the fender nice, so I can weld and planish and take some dents out and shrink and stretch and do what I need to do to fix fenders nice at a nice working height, so they can be kind of at waist level or chest level, depending on where the fender is, but where the part of the fender that I'm fixing is. So to get into that, then if I'm taking that off, the front centerpiece is going to come off with the grill, and I'll probably, well, not probably, most definitely roll the bottom edge of the front over like I've done with the fender extensions. So everything will kind of have that factory J edge to it. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to be taking these fenders off and fixing them, finishing them so they look like the center section, and then that will be all finished. I'll be done with that, and then I just need to work on slight fitments here and there, moving the fender back and forward a little bit to get those gaps perfect the way I had them before, because that center section came on and off, and I had to unbolt where the fenders were, and it kind of moved the gaps where I had it. But I'll fix that. Everything will be happy and healthy, and this car will be almost done.
in war.
gas already. Well, that's all I'm doing today. I burned through that tank of gas in a week. It's probably a new record. And I don't even remember welding that much. What did I do? Whatever. Regardless, it's empty. That blows. So yeah. This sucks. All right. Kind of a bummer. I was hoping to get a lot done tonight. I didn't realize my tank was almost empty. I don't know. It is what it is. Kind of sucks, but I'll be back on it on Monday. Sorry for the crappy ending to this video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you.